Welcome to Dow Wealth Management. This strategy and practice presentation summarizes the areas in which Dow Wealth Management is typically able to assist investors. It provides an illustration of how we structure portfolios so that they have the potential to earn optimal returns. These investment principles guide all of our wealth management practice and are designed with four intended results: to protect the portfolio against an irrecoverable loss of principal, to protect its purchasing power against inflation, to improve its total potential return by careful selection of assets, and to be both operationally efficient and tax efficient. Let us show you how. A typical retirees or near retirees portfolio might look like this: 60% in debt securities, such as bank CDs, bonds, bond funds, or variable annuities invested in bond subaccounts, and 40% in equity securities, invested in stocks, stock mutual funds, or equity-based variable annuities. Something much like this is often what we find in investors' portfolios when we first become acquainted. Several aspects of this portfolio design concern us and present opportunities to improve potential returns. Our first concern is the risk of an irrecoverable loss. Irrecoverable losses are all too common, with many investors never appreciating the risks inherent in their portfolios before they suffer an irreversible setback. There are two ways by which we can suffer an irrecoverable loss: from the loss of principal or the loss of our portfolio's purchasing power due to inflation. To guard against an irrecoverable loss of principal, Dow Wealth Management portfolios emphasize the ownership of high-quality securities. For equities, these are the stocks of companies with strong balance sheets and strong income statements. For fixed income securities, we focus on the highest tiers of investment-grade issues. To guard against the loss of purchasing power, we recommend the ownership of equity securities and short-term fixed income securities. Unlike long-term issues, short maturities help ensure that the funds may be rolled over into higher-yielding securities if inflation accelerates and interest rates rise. Our second concern is unfavorable asset class allocation. Many investors' portfolios are limited by how they are allocated between low-return potential debt securities and high-return potential equity investments. As we work to minimize the risk of an irrecoverable portfolio loss in stock holdings by owning predominantly high-quality securities, one result may be the opportunity to significantly increase the ownership of that asset class. Such an asset class reallocation can be the biggest determinant of long-term portfolio success. Poor security performance is our third concern. From a return potential, a high-quality security does not necessarily hold the same promise as a growth stock. Many high-quality companies offer only limited returns for investors. To overcome this hurdle, Dow Wealth Management utilizes an academically based investment approach to identify securities that are both high-quality and growth-oriented. That unique nexus of quality and growth underpins our portfolio management strategy. Finally, we are concerned about inefficient portfolio design. Although the sale of mutual funds and annuities has greatly benefited the financial services industry, it has come at a great cost to investors. Not only do such product investments typically underperform the markets in which they invest, but they often expose investors to higher taxes than a traditional portfolio of individually owned securities. The evidence is overwhelming that investors who have owned stocks and bonds directly have generally enjoyed far higher returns than those who have owned them via mutual funds and variable annuities. With its significant experience in direct securities investing and proprietary software to manage such accounts, Dow Wealth Management provides its clientele with this gold standard of portfolio management. When we combine these four areas of improvement: portfolio safety, asset class optimization, total return investing, and direct ownership of securities, we see that Dow Wealth Management portfolios significantly differ from the typical investor's portfolio. Our company's strategy and its ability to enhance returns are summarized in this last column. To the extent that debt securities are owned, our clients' portfolios tend to hold high-quality, short-term obligations. That positioning obviously avoids stock market volatility, but it also minimizes security risk, inflation risk, and interest rate risk. This provides the ultimate in safety. The stock holdings in our clients' portfolios are highly biased toward high-quality issues, allowing a much greater allocation to this asset class. These holdings are further focused on growth issues for their appreciation potential. As well, the stocks are directly owned by our clients in private accounts for both operational and tax efficiency. The Dow investment strategy can be a powerful driver behind a rewarding investment experience. By adhering rigorously to this comprehensive discipline, our client portfolios have successfully navigated economic downturns while significantly benefiting from periods of rising markets. One of the key principles in the Dow Wealth Management investment strategy is the unique combination of a high-quality equity discipline with a growth stock discipline. Understanding this principle is essential to understanding how our investment strategy seeks to drive performance while minimizing risk. In this illustration, we see that within the universe of all possible stocks, only a select few meet well-accepted quality criteria. By these criteria, just 25% of the stocks in an S&P 500 index fund, or ETF, are of high quality. Similarly, Dow Wealth Management uses fundamental analysis to identify those companies that have above-average growth. It is the companies within the intersection of these quality and growth high-quality income stock portfolio discipline. And, as may be appropriate for some investors, we remain alert to opportunities in the aggressive growth sector of the market that might complement an otherwise high-quality. But it is this high-quality growth stock sector that is the primary focus for most of our clients' portfolios. Just 1% of all publicly traded issues meet this rigorous. Investment foundation. So what does the Dow Wealth Management investment strategy mean when put into practice? Let us investment strategy that anyone could implement. It is not based on some proprietary secret formula. We an investor who has a $500,000 portfolio. Next, we show the three ways by which investments could be made. They could be owned indirectly or mutual funds, or vehicles as used over the 20-year period. $500,000 and $1.5 million if the securities were owned directly. In other words, mutual fund investors earned about 25% less than direct securities investors, and variable annuity investors earned nearly 50% less. All the way back to 1937, has never advocated this. And if we can justify a large allocation to portfolio loss, we might greatly increase dollars. securities investor, nearly 2.5 times more than the typical mutual fund investor, and 3.3 times more than the typical variable annuity. The returns provided in this illustration are those of widely available indices, and as such, do not presuppose professional portfolio management expertise. As an important caveat, note that the historical returns used for bond annuity investment products are far from optimal for their buyers. And even direct securities investors may significantly improve their returns. I invite you to browse our website at dow.us to learn more about the fundamentals of sound investing. If you have investment questions that require personal attention, or wish to inquire about Dow Wealth Management as the manager for your portfolio, we would welcome your call. Thank you. Welcome your call. Thank you. Welcome your call. More about the fundamentals of thank the fundamentals of more about the fundamentals of if you or wish to portfolio, we would or wish to inquire about Dow Wealth Management or wish to inquire about Dow Wealth Man 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 inquire about